I want to thank everybody for coming out and taking this opportunity to try to get a handle on how you're going to approach retirement and some of the questions you may have on retirement. Hopefully we'll answer a lot of those tonight. My name is Mike Morrison. This is Kirk Cherry. Y'all have already met us at the door, but this is officially, we're both registered representatives with Centaurus Financial. That's a small broker dealer out of Southern California. That's our, a lot of these workshops, Foresight Education likes to hire people that are in the industry to teach these classes because we can answer questions from the field. Okay, like if you took a geology course in college, it'd be nice if it was a geologist that had a lot of industry experience that taught the class. You'd have a lot of interesting things. Hopefully we'll bring a lot of interesting things to you and a lot of stories because of our experience. With that being said, we're not going to sell anything in here. We're not going to be talking about any specific products or companies. This is strictly an educational class. It's not a workshop. I mean, it is a workshop. It's not a lecture or a seminar. It's a workshop. So we encourage you to ask a lot of questions, okay? You'll get the most out of the class if you ask questions. There's a few other people in the room Alex over here, he's from our office. I said our office is very close. And for that reason, they always want to know if they can come over and sit down and watch me teach, because I think they're just waiting to see if I screw up and make a mistake so they can laugh at me when we get back to the office. But anyway, so they're all in here too. They're pretty knowledgeable. If you have a question you want to talk to them, you're more than welcome to. Our objective in this class is going to be to teach you the terminology and the concepts that are associated with the retirement planning process. Because so many times we talk in our own language and jargon, and if you're talking to your planner and he's talking in that language, a lot of times you may not know for sure what he's talking about. That's what we want. We want to uncover all of that. So if we have talking about a word and you don't understand what that word is, raise your hand. Say, hey, I don't understand what that is. Just go ahead and do that, because that's our objective. Our ultimate goal is to put you into more control of the retirement planning process than you were before you took this course. When you're working with your financial planner, you want to be able to communicate with him and not just have him just tell you, okay, I'm looking at all this, this is what you need to do, this sign right here, and all of a sudden you're into something you're really not sure what it is, but you're trusting this person. It's okay to trust, but it'd be also nice to be able to ask questions and communicate a little bit, and that's what we're hoping that ultimate goal is for in this class, is to put you in a position where you can actually ask questions, especially if something doesn't look exactly the way you thought it was going to. Just stop and say, hey, wait, ask questions. We're going to start out the class. We're going to be here for 2 nights. We'll be here for 2.5 hours tonight, 2.5 hours next week at the very same time. We're going to start out, Kirk is going to start out talking about how to set goals, and he's going to talk about, in the second section, how inflation and taxes affect those goals, because they really do. It's something we don't usually think about. And then I'll come up and wrap it up with where our sources are, or different sources, like whether it be IRAs or Roths or 401ks or whatever. We'll be talking about some of the characteristics of those and how you can use them. And then I'll wrap it up for the night with estate planning. We'll talk about wills and trust, the pros and the cons of wills, the pros and the cons of trust. Okay? And then, and a few other things, if you have questions, we'll answer those. And then we'll come back next week, and I'll start out with investments, and then I'll talk about traditional investments. Not the actual companies, but the types of investments that there are out there available to you, according to what your objectives are and what you're trying to accomplish with your retirement plan. And then I'll talk about non-traditional investments, then I'll come back, and then Kirk will come up and wrap it up with the insurance section, which is how to protect your assets. The main thing he's going to focus on, other than Medicare and Medicaid and how all that works, the thing that I like the most about what Kirk talks about is the different ways to approach long-term care. So many people, they'll have a policy and they pay on it for many, many years, and then all of a sudden it gets more expensive and finally they can't afford it right before they need it. And they have to drop it. They dropped it, and 2 years later they really needed it. what he's going to talk about is a way to stay in control. We always talk about control and flexibility. You want to stay in control of your money, you want to stay flexible, and this we're going to show you some programs that will help you stay in control, so whether you need that long-term care, you don't need it, whatever, you're still in control of that money. You don't lose that, those premiums you paid in. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let Kirk start it. Kirk can come on up, and but before he comes up here, I just want to ask a question. When you signed up for the course, what were you really hoping that it would be about, or what were you hoping that you would be able to get out of this course? What were you expecting or hoping for? Diane, what were you hoping that you would get out of this course when you signed up for it?
I was hoping that I would learn more about what would happen to me if I died early.
Earlier, you're going to die early? Okay, so, okay, well, yeah, I'm not sure what that means, but we'll talk about something like that. And Christy, what were you hoping to get out of it?
Well, I have longevity in my family, so I am looking for ways to make sure that my retirement money lasts as long as I do, and how to take care of myself so I'm not such a burden to my family, because I will be old and triple.
Well, hopefully we'll have some ideas on that. And remember, there's always going to be that last meeting. So as you can see, different people have different reasons for taking the course. This is about a full semester course that we're trying to cover in 5 hours, which that's pretty much impossible. So we're going to cover the highlights of each one of those sections, but there's going to be a lot of detail that we probably won't be able to have time to get into. So for that reason, take good notes. And you, that third meeting is paid for. You've already paid for it. You might as well take advantage of it. And so if there's something we didn't quite cover as well as you'd like, we can cover it in that third meeting. That's your meeting to talk about whatever you want to talk about. Okay, so please just know that if you don't get everything you want out of this class, it'll be your fault, not ours, because we're going to stay with you until you've had all of your questions answered. So with that being said, Kirk.